The next person I would like to introduce is Stockton North's Member of Parliament, Mr. Alex Cunningham.
Thanks very much, Kath. I'm really pleased to be here today, but I'm sorry I have to leave you after an hour because I'm going to be cavorting, I suppose, is one word I could use, with the banks. Because Barclays Bank are coming to Stockton to help me host an event on cyber crime, so I'm going to have to leave. You know, Kath, I think I was a young reporter on the Evening Gazette when you and I first came across each other, and that was a long, long time ago. You know, I know this is a woman who has been telling it as it is, well, 40 years maybe? It's been a long, long time, you know, and I think we can pay tribute to the work that she's done throughout those years because, you know, she has always been, you know, poking, prodding, persuading and pushing at people. You know, yesterday I was at a confidential briefing, so the things I'm about to tell you, you either swear not to repeat them outside this room until Monday or I'll have to kill you all. But this was a national charity, and they're publishing a new report on Monday in which they'll predict that 1 million extra children will be in poverty by 2020, and that's based on 2010, so that's 1 million more between 2010 and 2020. And they say, the report will tell us that the reason for that is the changes in benefits, the fact that they haven't kept pace with inflation. Inflation itself, which of course is now on the rise again. The axing of child benefit for third and subsequent children, and the introduction of universal credit, which is due to be rolled out in our area in a few months' time, and that lack of a real incentive to get people into work. But you know, one of the key messages yesterday, Kath, was that families affected felt powerless to do anything about their poverty. So all the more reason why I welcome the setting up of the Stockton Poverty Truth Commission today, because that's designed to give people the opportunity to tell it as it is, to people who can work with them, to challenge the status quo, to build the relationships and develop the strategies within the community to do something about the poverty within our community. And what a great statement we see on the board alongside me. Nothing about us without us is for us. But what is the reality like here on the ground? The Joseph Rowntree Foundation reported last year that Stockton North is 37th out of 650 constituencies for out-of-work benefits. Stockton South is also in the top half. This equates to 15% of the Stockton North population receiving out-of-work benefits, with 24% receiving in-work tax credits. It's becoming a crisis that people in work need extra support as their income isn't enough to cover today's cost of living. And where I stand today in the town centre ward for Stockton Borough Council, the number of people in crisis is as high as anywhere in the region and probably the country, despite the great efforts of local agencies from the Borough Council to the charities that support people here. 13 million people live below the poverty line in the UK, the 5th richest nation in the world, causing many to go hungry due to reasons such as benefit delays, unexpected bills, or just simply low incomes. The fake living wage pushed by the government is not a living wage at all. The government's living wage is £7.50 an hour for over 25s. But the Living Wage Foundation said it should be £8.45 an hour to enable people not to live in poverty. Young people, they're being paid very low wages in their first job. And if they're under 25, you know, employers, well, they're quite happy to pay them poverty wages. Yet these young people have no access to housing benefit. And for many of them, they're budgeting for the first time in their lives. And we need to give more support to young people who are out there on their own, not make it more difficult. In the previous financial year, more than 61,000, that's over 22,000 of them children, in the North East, used a food bank. The Trussell Trust, the overarching group coordinating most of the food banks, have said that in areas where universal credit is being rolled out, there are significant problems causing the number of people using food bags to rise. Of course, one of them is in Cunningham. You know, poverty isn't just about having enough money to feed and pay the bills. It's about severe health impacts, which can cause further costs down the line. A person may not be earning enough to get access for free, they may be earning enough, I should say, to not to be able to access free dental or eye care. Yet paying for these services could mean that they're going hungry to cover the costs. A few sentences ago, I posed the question, what is the reality here on the ground? And I fed you some statistics, what happens as a result. But do we really know what is happening in the lives of the people who are affected? Do we know the reality of a young person having to camp on a friend's sofa because he or she can't get the support they need? Do we know what it's like to have the embarrassment of asking a friend or relative for another loan that really we know can't be paid back? Or finding the loan shark is demanding payment yet again and there's an additional charge? Do we know what it's like for adults to miss meals to ensure their children are fed? Do we really know the health impacts, both physical and mental, that drag people down? I don't think we do. We don't really know the extent of suffering within our own community, and it's easy to become detached from what is really happening. So all the more reason for us to be here today, and I'm grateful for the role that all of you are playing. You know, Tracy was a bit worried that there might not be many people show up today. I think you're a credit to our community today. Now, Bishop Paul, he talked about the riches people in poverty have to share. We need to share them. We need to exploit them to gain greater understanding and know how we can work together with them. I'm hoping that the Commission will provide the vehicle to shine a light on all these realities, and I'll look forward to continuing to work with you to understand even more what we can do as policymakers in the community as well to address poverty in our area. You know, Kath said, Stockton has been a world leader. She talked about building bridges across the world. Well, we can build bridges across our community, Kath, and we can actually make that difference. I'm sure the Commission will be a great success. Thank you.